There is just something about shooting a nice high-end pistol, and the Nighthawk Custom Delegate is no exception to that. This was a gun that I ordered based on what I wanted. I have other 2011, 1911 double stack guns, but I didn't have a commander. So when I met the guys at Nighthawk, probably 2 or 3 trigger cons ago, and I said, I really want to order a Delegate, but I kind of want to change some things on it. There's things about the Delegate I like, but maybe if we can kind of spruce up the front end a little bit. And I really like the negative serrations, how instead of just the serrations being cut into the slide, they kind of cut the material away so that the serrations are kind of positive, or what I like to call a negative serration, because it's kind of different. They were really cool about it. We made an order and I had to wait. And here's the thing about Nighthawk is that you can have one pretty much any way you want it, but you're not going to get it fast unless you find a dealer that has it in stock. My name is Dave. Thank you very much for checking out the channel. If you guys like good quality, high in-depth reviews where we kind of get into a little bit more than what you read on the spec sheet, hopefully you will like the channel. If you're new here, like, share, subscribe. It really does help. And we are going to be having some giveaways as we get that 50K and 100K subscriber count. So make sure you stay tuned. And if you're interested in training, if you like the style and things like that, you can definitely check out our website and you can learn about training opportunities as well. So that being said, let's get back to the pistol. As far as disclosure, I always like to tell you guys how I get stuff. I ordered this and I paid for it. I did get industry pricing for it, but when you work in the industry, I have a gun shop, I get stuff at wholesale. So basically I ordered this. This is not sponsored. I'm not getting paid or anything like that. And I also ordered another one. So stay tuned because I will be reviewing a model that I'm trying to get. It's going to be the custom side. We'll see how it turns out. But I ordered this, paid for it. There's no sponsorship, nothing like that. So everything that you're hearing is my opinion. This is the Nighthawk Delegate, and I have it right now with an optic off. I had to play musical optics with some of the optics that I was running, but I have used it with an SRO, an RCR, an RMR, I believe even an RMR HD for a while, and everything works really good. And we're going to talk about the optic system here in a little bit, because I do think it is literally one of the best in the whole industry, which I know is a bold claim. But this is the Delegate. Now the one I went with here is a 4 1/4 Commander model, but like the detail and the attention to detail on everything kind of coming together and how it was custom made, how they cut the front of the slide and then they matched and contoured the guide rod to match that contour. So again, it's just a nice sleek radius there. And then again, also the cutting here. I kind of joke that this is like the shovel nose. For those of you guys that are fans of like LMT rifles, they have a one of their uppers called the shovel nose, and it kind of has a very similar style, but it's just something different and unique that is literally only like this gun. So when they were kind of showing me some pics in the raw of kind of the machining process, I didn't know how it would quite come together, but seeing it in person, it is a gorgeous piece. So with the Delegate, you do have, kind of like I said, those negative serrations on the front. It does have a light rail, so you're able to run a light. And then as we move back, everything about the gun, fit, finish, everything is exactly what you would expect. This is kind of just our overview. Other things that I ordered with the gun was the aggressive grip texture. It is very nice and sharp in the hand, and it definitely locks in. However, one of the things that I will give you a heads up about if you order their aggressive texture, the peaks are sharp, and you can see that on camera that a couple of them, because they are so sharp, with some wear and some use, they will, you will have a couple of them start to, kind of wear down or maybe get bumped against your gear, stuff like that. So you can kind of see a couple of them that kind of look a little lighter. That's just that very tip of the peak that just got, kind of worn down with some use. So that's just something to keep in mind with a sharper grip like that. But I love how the grip texture locks into your hand. Now I did add a magwell to the bottom of the grip just to help with reloads and to kind of help save wear and tear. But the grip has really good ergonomics, really good texture all the way around. Now keep in mind, I wouldn't necessarily get this if you're looking to appendix or inside the waistband carry it against your body. I kind of got this as more of a range gun, a duty gun style. So I like a good aggressive texture that really locks into my hand. So that's why I went with this. I did also order it with a flat trigger. It does have ambi safety on both sides. That's a reasonable size, easy to manipulate. And then the slide stop is a nice shaped contour as well. It's not too large, but yet it's very easy to manipulate with either your support side thumb, you know, which is how I generally will manipulate it when I do a reload. I would use that support side thumb. If you were a left-handed shooter, I know some lefties will prefer to use their trigger finger to manipulate it, and I don't think you'd have a problem doing that as well. However, most of the time I'm manipulating it with those front serrations, which I talked about. So that's just kind of a quick overview of the build. Now, one thing I told you guys is they are not fast. They are made to order, one gun, one gunsmith. We'll talk about that philosophy here in a little bit. And this is also a high-end gun. Retail on this is going to be about like $5,600. So it's definitely an investment. And you might be asking, Dave, is it worth it? Is it worth getting a high-end custom gun? For a lot of people, this is going to be a lifetime gun, like a once-in-a-lifetime gun, or maybe this is a gun that they are going to save for a significant amount of time for and make this investment. So they definitely want it to be something that they cherish and really take care of. And really kind of look at it as an investment, if you will, and something that's going to last forever. And I will say a good high quality pistol from a variety of manufacturers, not just Nighthawk, but if you buy a good custom high end gun, it should last you beyond a lifetime. And I don't see any reason why this gun would not. Now, fit, finish, this thing is tight. The one gun, one gunsmith, they hand fit these. They are built to order. They put a lot of pride. And in fact, we'll just quickly go over what's in the box. They actually give you a checklist. And in that checklist, the gunsmith goes over all of the things that they do and quality check. Not just the first gunsmith, but the final assembly, the test fire, and the final inspection. And it's all verified by the different staff. And it's not just one person checking their own work. It's actually multiple people. And then they kind of go through your order sheet and you see who the gunsmith was, you see the model, the serial number, and then they also have a test target. And this test target definitely made it look like this thing was going to be a shooter. And this is a 12-yard group. I wish I could shoot that good because that's pretty crazy. We'll talk about accuracy here in just a moment. And then it comes with your literature on the iOS mount, the manual. And the bag is a custom bag they had made by Savior. It does have very nice branding on it. It has spots for extra magazines, a pouch for your manual. And then once we open up the case, it does have a cutout for the gun. It comes with 2 magazines. These are 17 rounders. They are made by Checkmate. And then a nice foam insert. So the range bag is very nice. So should be for the money you're spending, right? Let's talk about accuracy. This thing is an incredibly accurate pistol. My very first shots, when I first got the gun, took it to the range, I was very impressed with the accuracy. As you can see, I'll roll in that footage here. Go check this out. So this is my my group at 10 yards. That's, what was that, 4 shots? 1, 2, 3, and maybe I shanked one a little bit, but check that out. Oh my gosh. So no doubt the gun can shoot if you're doing your part, but that was just a 10-yard zero just to kind of get everything up to speed. How did it shoot extended with a variety of ammunition? Well, it shot really good. One of my favorite drills that I like to test, not only myself, but also the equipment, is a B8 at 25 yards, which can be a very frustrating drill, but this thing performed really good. Now, with the exception of that one round up at the high there, I don't know if that was a line break or not. I didn't have a gauge with me, but I think we could all agree that that's a solid 99, maybe even a hundo, which I don't do all the time. But this gun definitely was very forgiving and easy to do. Number one, it's very accurate. It's very consistent. Now, as far as ammunition goes, I fed this thing a wide variety of ammunition ranging from 115, 124, as well as 147 duty grade ammo. And I had no issues with feeding or accuracy. The gun really just ran everything that I would run through it, which was really nice. Now, as far as ammunition goes, I get all of my ammunition from Global Ordnance, and I can't thank them enough for their support of the channel. If you guys want to save, there will be more information in the description. But basically, they're good people. They import a lot of ammunition, and they're able to provide it. They're able to get it to you quickly, and you can also get free shipping as well, which is great, especially if you're ordering it by the case, which, let's be honest, you probably are. And I'm here to tell you guys, ammunition is going to get tougher to get. There's a lot of things going on in the industry as well as the world right now, that ammunition is going to be one of those things where if you can stock up on it, whether it's for upcoming training, upcoming competition, classes, whatever it might be, now would be the time, and I would highly encourage you guys to get it from Global Ordnance. The trigger is really nice. My trigger here is great. I've had some other creators say that they've had, some issues with listing weights. So I'll just say that mine broke at a very comfortable sub 3 pound break, but we have a slight take up and then a very nice crisp roll break. Now, a good trigger is going to have, like on a 1911 platform, it's going to not have that glass rod feel per se. It's going to be just a little bit different because of the mechanism, but we have that take up and then a very nice break. As far as 1911, 2011 triggers go, this is almost at the top of the heap. I can't think of a gun that necessarily has a nicer trigger, so I will say that they tuned this trigger very well. Very, very pleasant, really enjoyable. No issues whatsoever with that. Accuracy, the thing shoots. It locks up nice. Recoil impulse is really good. Now, how does it compare against like a 5-inch gun? It is a little different. I'm not going to say it's better or worse. It's just different because we're trying to do more with, less mass, but also less guide rod and spring. But it shot really nice. It was very easy to manage, very easy to use. No complaints whatsoever. Now, I do want to talk about the iOS optic system. I will say, I truly feel that the iOS is arguably the best mounting plate system on the market. You can see it comes with a variety of plates. You can get different plates. It comes with an iron sight plate. You can get the RMR plate with the sight forward, so like an RMR style optic would fit here, then you'd have your backup sight. You can also get an SRO plate, which is basically the exact same thing, except for the overhang from the SRO would hang here, and then you could either get like a different insert, rear insert, that goes in the screws for a backup sight. Otherwise, they do have all the popular platforms pretty much covered. So they will make a plate pretty much for whatever you need. But what's cool about the plate is it has this tapered dovetail. So it's not just that it has the dovetail on both sides that you can see, but it is actually a taper. So not only are we getting the dovetail that's wedging in on both sides, but because it's a taper, it's also locking in. And then we have this dowel pin that basically acts as like a crossbar locking pin, and then that is secured with a set screw on the top. So the system is really solid and returned to zero, no issues. And what's nice is that you can swap your optic. Now, with the exception of the SRO, because of that overhang, you can access that set screw right on top here. So we access that set screw here. I believe it's a 5/64. We loosen the set screw. Once we loosen the set screw till it stops, we don't need to over torque or really get excessive force. We just loosen that until it stops. Then we push out that pin, and once we have that pin pushed out, the plate will slide off. Now, because that fit is so tight, you may need just a light tapping of a nylon hammer. Don't use a machinist hammer or anything marking, just a little bit of tap with that plastic, and you can see that that plate came off. And again, we have that taper dovetail surface that really locks everything together. You'll also notice that the serial number is engraved on the slide. That way it keeps all of the major components together as they're doing their fitting and their assembly and their gunsmithing. But you can see on the bottom that set screw, the bottom of the set screw locks in that pin, locking the whole thing in place. So once you take your optic off, let's say you wanted to go back to irons, maybe you wanted to shoot limited or whatever. I don't know why you'd want to shoot irons if you don't have to. I mean, I love red dots, but I take that plate and I simply align the dovetails in like so. And I just like to give it just a light tap just to make sure that plate is all the way forward so it's consistent. But look at how well that lines up. Even the serrations, like they really did a nice job making sure that this looks as just about seamless as can be. Looks really good. Then you would put that pin back in, tighten that set screw, and that's it. So pins, plates, super easy. and I can even leave the optic mounted to the plate so long as I could access that set screw and pin. Again, with the SRO, you can't do that. That's the one downside with like the SRO or the RMRHD. I'll put this plate back on, dovetail, light tap to seat the plate all the way forward. I'm gonna go ahead and put the pin in, and I like just to use a punch just to center that pin in between the two surfaces. I am kind of a sucker for attention to detail, so I'm gonna make sure that that pin is centered in that track. Once it is, you're just gonna take your 5/64 hex key, you're gonna insert it, tighten that set screw until it stops. That's it. We don't need to like crank on it. We don't need to overly tighten it or anything like that. The design of the whole system, that's it. That's all you need to do is just snug that screw. And now you have a rock solid optic plate that's not going to rotate, move fore and aft, come off. Like, it is arguably the best optic mounting system, I think, on the market. And that's saying a lot. But the fact that I don't have a lot of other screws here to come loose or anything like that, and I've shot this, no issues whatsoever with the plates coming loose, no issues with return to zero or anything like that. And I've talked to a lot of other people who have way more rounds on the Nighthawk system than I do, and not one person has had a complaint about the iOS plate system. So I think it's a really, really good plate system to incorporate. As far as what it looks like on the inside, now it is not a toolless guide rod because it does have that custom radius. So I just use a paper clip, compress the spring and the plug to kind of remove that. But looking at the barrel fit in the slide, it locks up really, really well. Mine's obviously a little bit dirty, but I'm not seeing any excess signs of wear, or sometimes you'll see some peening or some, excessive wear. But the barrel, the lugs, everything look really nice, other than it's obviously dirty because I actually use my gear, guys. You don't actually want somebody who doesn't shoot it, right? The slide and the machining, everything looks really nice on the slide. It has a slight radius on the stripper rail, so it makes for a good cycling feeling when you're cycling the action. And I haven't done a complete armor's inspection on this yet, but there is no MIM parts in here. Everything is good, high quality machine parts that is fit, but no issues whatsoever that I'm seeing, and the frame machining looks really good, albeit it's a little dirty. Now, one thing with any 1911, high quality 1911, a double stack, whatever, is that you do need to keep them lubricated. There is a lot of metal on metal, and these are precise fit guns, and they run, but they do need a good quality lubricant, and that brings us to our sponsor, which is Slip 2000. I have been using Extreme Weapons Lube, or EWL, literally for years, maybe even over a decade, and the stuff never fails me. It's rated for incredibly low and high temperatures, which for me in Minnesota easily gets beyond freezing. This stuff, if I leave it out in a range bag or a truck, it still pours, and it still offers good quality lubricant properties, which, believe it or not, other lubes will freeze. EWL is amazing stuff, and it is all I use. You guys can save if you click the link in the description and use the coupon code to save yourself 20% on all of their cleaning and lubrication products. Slip 2000 is a non-toxic synthetic lubricant that works in all conditions. Like I said, I've been using it for a long time. Save yourself with the coupon code. Support good people in the industry who are making good quality products. That's enough on lubrication, but just use good quality lube. Now, if you're spending this kind of money, you should be able to get it pretty much exactly how you want, right? You have different finish options. They have models that have compensators. They have models that have traditional checkering. Like, they have a lot of models on their website, and you can upgrade to the aggressive grip. You can make them a double stack. You can get a single stack. You have a lot of options to really kind of get it your way. And if you see something that you like, but you want it slightly different, you can give them a call, and that's where the custom part of their name comes into play, where they can try to work with you and figure out what they can do to make that. Now, like I said, they're not cheap and they're not fast, but they are high quality. And One Gun, One Gunsmith is truly something that they stand by. They will have one gunsmith build your gun from start to finish, and then they will have their team perform their quality control and inspections to make sure that when they deliver this, you're getting the experience that you deserve. So that's been my experience with the Nighthawk. I've really enjoyed it. If you guys have any questions, you can leave a comment in the section below, or if you want to see a question answered, we do a monthly podcast where I answer your questions. You can email the address shown below. It's qa@learningfirearms.com. And at the end of the month, we do a QA podcast where I answer all your questions, plus we give away a prize. But love to have you. And again, if you like this, please like, share, and subscribe. Now, upcoming for the future, we will be doing some content on other guns that are more budget focused in this kind of 1911 double stack, as well as kind of some mid-budget as well. And I think you guys will like the content up ahead. So thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.